Hola! Hi everyone! Hi, this is Ana Mejia. Very welcome to this my channel, Stop My Control and Satanic Ritual Abuse in Canada. Let me introduce myself. My name is Ana Mejia, professional in accounting, having a major in internal auditing. I'm 32 years old, born in Peru, and currently Canadian permanent resident. Let me briefly describe facts of my history and personal testimony. I moved to Toronto in 2013, and I had spent almost 3 years living there until September 2015. Since February 9, 2015, I have worked in CIBC Bank, located at 33 Yonge Street, Toronto downtown, as a business analyst under the Credit Risk Adjudication Department. Also, I was taking auditing courses at George Brown School and following online a degree in business administration at Yorkville University. However, during the midst of August, a certain event occurred on the third floor of the CIBC Bank, describing in details, due to management reasons, my department moved from the sixth floor to the third floor to share the floor with the risk management and compliance department at the end of April. So far, it seemed everything was fine, even though my female boss had an image of efficiency and effectiveness to deliver the task assignments on basis time in specific deadlines. Also, we used to have weekly meetings to discuss the progress of the assignments. I will also mention that she was temperamental and hardworking, giving feedbacks as much as she could in the weekly meetings. By the way, my team was encompassed for 3 professionals: an engineer called Jackie, an accountant called Genevieve from Philippines, and me. We were employees from Manpower. So we were backing up the 4 senior analysts managed by Mary Sgrinoli. During the beginning of August, I was a victim of sexual harassment. And I want to share this story with you. During the beginning of August, I was a victim of sexual harassment in conjunction with bullying by employees from CIBC surrounding my cubicle. I was sitting at the front near the hole close to the printer machine. The ways of harassment was transmitting voices surrounding my cubicle, such as killing her. She extended her job contract through sexual favors, knocking my cubicle with a hand punch several times. And again, I want to underline this part. Me, Ana Mejia, was a victim of sexual harassment at CIBC Bank in conjunction with bullying by employees from CIBC surrounded my cubicle. They used to say, killing her. She extended her job through sexual favors and knocking my cubicle with a hand punch. Several times they did it. Personally, I tracked a conspiracy group against me, and I noticed a Portuguese Italian senior employee from CIBC hiding at the other side of my cubicle, talking and giving instructions to 4 female employees to make me feel physically and mentally miserable. By projecting voices, sounds, and conversations related to my personal life, describing facts of my personal and private life. For example, when I slept the night with my ex-boyfriend that nobody knew about it. but they follow me and to my house, they follow me and they found out. As you can imagine, that was a surprise for me to hear those voices at the workplace from employees from CIBC Bank. I was surprised. It's indescribable what I felt at that time because they stole my intimacy and make them public, spreading rumors about my family and personal life among CIBC employees, creating a toxic environment for all, among other things. Personally, I took immediately actions and I approached my boss and let her know in details that I was determined to submit an official statement to Human Resources at CIBC Bank. Due to the profound harassment attempted against my integrity as a female human being. My boss delivered the letter statement to the proper channel at Human Resources. These facts caused emotional distress to me. By September 2015, I left Toronto, Canada, and I moved to Las Vegas, Nevada, to live with my parents. I spent Christmas and New Year to feel the love and warm hands of my beloved parents. On January 2016, I came back to Toronto to start over again. I mean to rent an apartment and apply for a new job. However, I was still feeling with emotional distress. I just stayed for 3 days and then I decided to travel to Lima, Peru, where I grew up. I decided to stay in Lima and enroll again in school and start to go back to the workforce again in my professional field for the whole 2016. We are on January 2017. A year after, I moved to Virginia, Arlington, to stay with my sister's family and doing some job research. In the meanwhile, I'm taking care of my little nephew. Let me mention along this journey of emotional distress that I have been carrying out since 2015. I give personal testimony that these painful feelings came from the satanic ritual abuse and mind control. Through torturing based in mind control with the attempt of programming indoctrination due to the effects of having faced and experienced it. Let me describe you those feelings that come out from emotional distress. Preparation to weaken or debilitate the human being, in my case, me, through black magic, black or negative spiritualism, witchcraft, the first step for the satanic ritual abuse, debilitating the victim into submission and enslavement, affecting the emotional body at the level person is sexually and spiritually traumatized, destroying your energy level aura, driving you to mind control manipulations to worship evil, to instill and addressing the victims to cult's ideology of murder. As a consequence, to have a weakened soul and body. Also using the method of telepathy is common use in mind control to enter into the psyche of the victim to prove and feel the information is in the victim's brain. These horrifying truths are done by practitioners of satanic rituals, led by organized crime, child pornography, prostitutions, and human trafficking, managed by large families. Based on my personal testimony, these groups came from Mexican families and other cultures involved in attacking as accomplices. As soon as the body feels weakened, the sensation of pain starts to feeling down, affecting the brain with lace like rays that make a clicking, crackling sound, attempting to destroy brain cells, turn to a mindless individual, causing cramping in my legs, headaches, stomach aches, and dizziness, who from outward appearances suffers from Alzheimer's disease, dementia, paranoid, or schizophrenia. Through this, they went to replace thoughts and perceptions of reality by another of the controller's choosing, such as disconnected or interfering dreams, projecting images, interfering with long and short-term memory. The projecting voices and other sounds you hear around and there is nobody next to you come through TV, radio, cell phone, applying electronic devices, increasing the level of frequency of torturing through psychoelectromagnetic weapons, causing physical pain, mental anguish, and the deprivation of sleep, rendering you ineffective in your work or daily life, letting you know that they are watching you every second of the day and night. The sounds make them form of knocking on your door as I experience it when there is nobody there, dogs barking, cars honking when there are no cars and dogs either. The purpose is to reduce your self-esteem, lack of confidence, drive you slowly into either thinking that you might be imagining those actions or actually drive you crazy, diminution to a zombie status, causing you to lash out at the voices and react out with words such as fight, making you feel impotent because according to my nature, I was against to that action. That doesn't match with my profile behavior. This is when yourself, as I did, start to analyze where that word came from. Feeling the frustration and impotence to reply words back by my behavioral nature patterns, autocorrect to myself as immediate action to protect and control me, establishing boundaries of safety for myself. In addition, this type of coercion to the victims is to keep silence, to not read, to not escape, to not share information about your experience, as is intended to entrap the person into submissive behavior. Many lies through voices sounds to the inner ear are always be alone, solita vas a estar, translated in Spanish. She's not going to marry with anyone. Ella ve, she sees, translated in Spanish. Se va a quedar solita. There she is, her, the stronger. Repeating my name louder as make me feel that I am trapped and I will stay. She has money. Or she needs to end, or she can join us. This type of coercion to the victims is to keep silence, to not rat, to not escape, to not share information about your experience, as is intended to entrap the person into submissive behavior. Many lies through voices sounds. Also, people with weakness, you apparently making gestures or talking assume that you have gone crazy, isolating you from society, causing you irritability and unpleasant to others. People around you begin to bully you, make others think that you are losing or have lost your mind, confusing and disoriented, moving and hiding items from your daily routine. The voices, as I call that, tormentors or warped sick minds, due to my testimony, choose victims who live alone, as they have no witnesses to the effects of the torture. Additionally, I tend to believe that the characteristics to be like a catch for these warped sick minds, harassers, stalking are a person with multiple personality disorder, a stressful, intense person, a person who is passing for a post-stress traumatic disorder, or any can be a target person. Due to my testimony, I believe that they follow a user manual, which is essentially the PC computer program that operates a microchip along with instruction about applying electronic torture and exercising mind control to the victims that blocks the victim's capacity. This is happening in Canada. This is happening in Toronto, which I believe that I have been implanted with those nano implants microchip devices. Based on my testimony, I'm able to say that this microchip perform the following actions: monitor my movements, hear my conversations, along with those I talk directly or by phone. Also, the harassers or tormentors performed by the inner ear. During night times, the harassers are bombarding my body, seeking to cause bodily harm, even death by causing vehicular accidents, as part to maintain and keep my self-esteem control at all time. I avoid the voices and any unconsciousness second time in order to avoid occur accidents. In Las Vegas, I felt that happening to me. This goes along through psychoelectromagnetic frequency devices, as I perceive the incrementing heartbeat attacks along with the projecting voices. Based on my testimony, I have been felt that the effects of the psychological and virtual rape, breaking and entering into my body through psychoelectromagnetic weapons, feeling the horrific effects of electroshocks, electromagnetic sensory deprivation of sleep, ritual and sexual abuse by the rapist. The existence of these practices that I tend to believe that came from agencies' mind control programs from the government in Canada, in conjugation with management companies or contract firms in Canada, employees or workers from management corporations in Canada, involved or attached at least with those practitioners to them. This is a reality, my friends, that is happening in Toronto, in Canada. My most concern are those newcomers that are entering to the Canadian territory every day. They are mostly targets for these criminal organizations, as are formed by largest families, structured by families, in this case by Mexican families and other cultures, Central American cultures, and Canadians also. Like I said, these practices I tend to believe that came from agencies, mind control programs from the government in Canada, and management companies or contract firms in Canada, that they point out their targets every time or whatever across their way. For you, my newcomers, or for you, a student, a lone person, single mother, single man or woman, be careful, be alert, look around you, don't talk to strangers, do not provide too much information about your life. Do not pay attention to those voices, because as I said, they use these psychoelectromagnetic devices to frighten you, with the only purpose to convert to you to a submissive person. They want to control your emotions, your actions. They want to mandate in your mind. They want to drive you to their thoughts. That's basically murdering. That's basically harm yourself. That's basically put you against your family. These largest families are sects or cults. That worship evil. So be alert, newcomers who enter to Canada. That newcomers family that come every day, or newcomers as me, that I was a single, independent, professional woman from Peru. There are many professional women and men that enter to Canada every day as a residents, and they are mostly targets for these criminal organizations. They want to taste you, they want to steal your life, they want to take control about your life. Don't let them to take control about you. I have developed a plan to overcome the mind control and satanic ritual base. As part of my experience, I want to share my techniques to overcome these horrific attempts to our life and how we can beat them. As I'm the owner of my body and soul, I was and I still aware of consciousness every microsecond about my thoughts, movements, and feelings, feeling confident what I have gotten and received as a human being. Thankfully, every day to God, Jesus Christ, at every moment, there is only one higher power above and beyond everything, and it's God. Do not pay attention to those voices, to those energies that come from above, that want to frighten you. These are psychoelectromagnetic weapons, fabricated and created by the man. And someday they will expire. They won't work anymore. But there is only one power higher, and it's God, Jesus Christ. Asking for guidance. Every day I ask for guidance to the Lord. Jesus Christ, forgiveness and convinced about my repentance, along with my prayers every day, Jesus was healing my wounds since September 2015 and continued doing an intensive work to me every second of my life. Having the supportiness of my beloved family, that's when you most need your family to let them know your feelings, your emotions. You are suffering an emotional distress. You are disconnected. You are disoriented, and you need to talk to somebody else. Don't be afraid to let them know your feelings, your thoughts, your frightness that is killing you, that is traumatizing you from inside. And everybody notices that something is not going well in your appearance. So you need to start to talk. No matter if they believe or not believe, but I'm completely sure that your parents will pay you attention. Your sister, your brother, your best friend. The priest from the church will hear you, will pay attention. The Catholic Church is always be open for you. There is a priest there at the Catholic Church that is waiting for you, for confession, for hearing. So it's most important to give the first step and start to talk about your emotional distress to somebody else, to someone who is close to you, who will be confident to you. And start with your family. That's my suggestion. Having the supportiness of my beloved family, my parents, they listening to me and they suffer with me due to my emotional distress caused by them, by the harassers, by the criminals, by the sick minds, the warped minds that use those psycho-electromagnetic devices. Correcting my gestures, movements, feelings to the appropriate and straight feeling behavior. And it is to full concentration to my task at all times. You need to be fully concentrated in your task and activities every day. No matter what you heard, no matter what you listen from them, from those voices. If you have to read one chapter of a book, read it and understanding all of them. Read it 10 times. And I promise you, you're gonna pass the exam because I did. I read a booklet of 70 pages for 1 week over and over again, even with interfering and interrupting voices. I passed an exam of 40 questions. 40 questions without any single mistake. So, yes, we can. We can beat them. But it needs a lot of work from us. Full concentration, full energy, full of love about what we do every day. Remember, you are the most important in this world. They are criminals. Their business is to convert to you in a crazy, in a paranoid and schizophrenic person. Don't let them change you. Don't let you to convert to a submissive behavior. They want to steal you, appropriate your life for those sects and cults to worship evil. And you are not evil. You are a beautiful creation of God with many skills, with tons of good feelings and good attitude, with good intentions. Because I'm completely sure that you are much better than me. Recalling my memories, calling myself where I came from and what I have to do and where I'm going. Recalling happy times from my childhood and my youth, most of them came from the family times, shared with my relatives and close friends. Make me feel alive, that I know that my family is taking first place in my life, that they are going to stand for me, and I have to do everything for keeping the family in togetherness. Feeling responsible about my acts, use, and critical thinking, examining and analyzing where it's good or not, or it goes to against to my tradition morality. Having in mind that I'm the only one able to make changes for good or bad, that my facts reflects my moral and straight behavior, and my acts will be consequences for others. Feeling that days are passing and getting more responsibility and tasks and more mature about to track and control my activities. Having the willingness to make decisions based on facts, pros and cons in my life. To enhance my lifestyle and quality living, as it is my will to volunteer and participate in academic schooling and social activities to promote human rights, liberty, not debauchery. As I suggest, as soon as you hear those voices, you need to talk with somebody, to your friend, to your husband, to your boyfriend, to your best friend, to your parents, to the priest from the Catholic Church, and continue with your daily life, with your routine. Continue living. We are winning when we do continue with our lives. We do what we want. We make decisions, what we have to do, what we should be doing now, what we're gonna do tomorrow. Participate and volunteer. Collaborate with the church, with social organizations, volunteering for the homeless. Be an active person to promote help, to promote collaboration to others in a healthy way. Most of all, permitting to myself to share my testimony to all, to prevent and dismantle this organized organization, this organized crime that came from large families, and others to watch and make them compliant, watching and monitoring the torturing victims. Can you imagine, my fellows, friends, that there are large families, acquaintances, strangers around them, around to those warped minds, sick persons, because there are no adjective, there are no more descriptive word than this, that they are watching, torturing people, torturing children, torturing young women, men, senior adult people. They are watching the suffering, the crying, the pain. Do they learn something? I might ask myself. Because when you go to school, you learn something, you learn knowledge. You're acquiring information. They want compliance. Compliance because they want to ask and order favors, receive funds from them, make them compliant. They shut them with favors, exchange favors with those compliance. My goal is to dismantle the programming of indoctrination that covers up the mind control and the SRA, satanic ritual abuse. The purpose is to debilitate the human being from its own capacity, make them vulnerable to mind control programming, as well as cause the increase of illicit sexual conduct started to feel overwhelming, feeling the effects of the stress of human beings. The programming of indoctrination is it's a program that is financed and funded by the government of Canada. There are universities as McGill University that they have a program for this mind control programming. McGill University, if you go to the website to McGill University in Montreal, Canada, and you look up for programming of indoctrination or mind control, you will find information on the office and the academic coordinator in charge of these programs. Yes, they are funded. They are really financed and funded by the government of Canada and those contract firms and management companies. Remember my case, I was a victim of sexual harassment and bullying through these psychoelectronic devices and programming of indoctrination at CIBC Bank in Toronto, Canada, located at 33 Yonge Street on the 3rd floor. My boss was Mary Scrignoli. You may ask her. She has been working for more than 20 years at CIBC. Others colleagues were Adrian Jones, that we worked together. He has been working for almost 10 years, 5 or 10 years at CIBC. Personally, I'm not easily intimidated. I fight back. That's the reason that I'm recording this video, to prevent and alert the newcomers who come from South America, who come from Central America, who come from Europe, from the Middle East, because they are targets for these largest families. And based on my testimony, these are Mexican families funded by the Canadian government. So if we go to the recourse at the police in Toronto, Canada, and we speak out about mind control and SRA, satanic ritual abuse, I tend to believe that we might find information and recourse about these largest families, Mexican families that live, they have this business to attend to people's life. They don't see us as a human being. They don't have no respect for the human being. So put that in your mind. They don't have respect for human being. People who work for them, who are involved in this criminal organization, because there is no permission, there was no permission to myself to attack me for almost 2 years, 2 years of harassing. They don't have respect for anything. They are able to kill someone. They are able to murder, to plan a murdering, because don't have respect for human being. That's the thing. Don't have respect for human being. They even may kill their own families because they already block. They already block about to respect human being. They are already misconnected with the world, with the news, with the political changes, with the economical impact, with climate change. They are disconnected because they are focused on you, to kill you, to debilitate you, to continue harassing you. They are blocked. They have blocked your minds because they don't have respect for human beings. So be alert, newcomer. Be alert, you single mother, single professional, single student, independent woman, man, you senior adult who are retired, children, most of them, the youth. Everybody, one of you can be a target. I intend to prevent and promote liberty, not debauchery, and promote significant information about satanic ritual abuse and mind control. Inform to the citizens and residents, newcomers who enter to Canada every day about this problematic social crisis affecting our society, attempting to all types of victims, regardless of race, gender, social, and economic status, religion, or age. I also intend to establish supporting group organization to help those victims, like me, that had same experiences in mind control and SRA, as part of the recovery and rehabilitation psychotherapy, acting as a consultant, clarifying alternatives for resolution at the same time, claim and promote through the government laws to protect us from those criminals, harassers, warped minds, sick minds, rapists. Getting support from the legal system and lawmakers to impose severe punishment for the harassers, perpetrators, rapists, practitioners of witchcraft, dysfunctional adults, warped and sick minds, accomplices, attached or involved in the sexual abuse, that they are evil as they are abuses themselves, and that they are unworthy and incapable of belonging anywhere but with abusers. These abusers manipulate their victims through attachment needs, that is, basic survival needs as financial security, love, apparently playing roles parts in their task or jobs. As I heard many times, they say through the voices, she buys, or ella compra. They want to diminish you, to not do anything, to not buy, to not leave, because they are really captured in their sects. They live for their sects and cults worship evil. They really have lost their mind, the loss of living life, the loss of live in love. They have lost the feeling of see life in a different way that we, the normal people, we look a colorful life. I see life beautiful, colorful. Every day I wake up and I feel inspired. I feel the charisma of living. These groups that belong to cults, sects, worship evil, want to produce killing human machine through the programming of indoctrination, performed by trainers, programmers. They have carried out implants of nanomicrochips, manipulating psychoelectromagnetic programs, destroying your aura. Your aura, that is the energy level. That the energy when you wake up or when you do your exercises at gym. This is the aura that you retain, that you gain after you take a nap or you rest a couple hours, or you wake up in the morning, you have slept 8 hours, 7-8 hours. This aura keeps you stronger, keeps you alive, and you're shining, and you shine to others all too. Destroying your aura, energy level, body, and stolen souls, reducing the victims to the impulses of the animal, making them vulnerable and submissive to obey orders for the harassers, authoritarians, control programmer, or social controllers, through toxic electromagnetic frequency, electronic harassment effects, torturing victims, keeping the victims into advanced and monitored surveillance with a purpose to driving human beings to the insanity, ruining and destroying people's life, cultivating sexual and negative spiritual slavery, inflicting pain and depressing feelings and negative spiritual slavery, inflicting pain and depressing feelings into the victim's body and mind, causing extreme suffering, intimidation, fear, anxiety, addiction, confuse, disorientation, and terror, multiple personal disorders, and dissociated self-status, damaging the human divine soul, fragmenting the person's consciousness without consistent desensitization. If you have experienced those emotional distress, emotional feelings, emotional down feelings, you might be experiencing an initiation or preparation for satanic ritual abuse. If you heard those voices and you feel that your body is debilitating and your aura is making you feel down, it's because these largest families, these criminal groups, these practitioners of satanic ritual abuse have taken you have chosen you as a target. What I suggest to do, move out, take actions, talk to somebody. I left Canada, and I don't regret about that. Currently, I'm living in Washington. In 2017, right now. I don't know if I plan to go back to Canada. I'm not sure about that, because now I feel happy. I feel that I have a plan to move on with my life. That's fine. I mean, I always believe in Jesus Christ. I had my ups and down moments, but I never stopped to believe in Him. Even in the darkness, even in the hell that I lived, I still was believing in Jesus Christ. I have friends in Toronto, and I have a bunch of stuff that I left there. But there is no need to to go back. I mean, maybe in the future, to pick up and do some working papers, and pick up my luggage that I left in a friend's house, and hang out with some friends. But I don't have the will and the impetus to settle down in Canada. Even more that it's not a fancy or modern city. It's getting older. The same streetcars, the same buses, the same train, the same streets. Nothing has changed. Everything is the same as I left it. Nothing has changed in Canada. Nothing has changed in Toronto. And that monotony and that routine, plus those criminals attacking, that I really have noticed that there is what it is, and they found out a type of entertainment of torturing people. It seems like it's not what I thought when I was a newcomer. It's not what Canada sells as a good life of living life, or a good country to settle down a family. I won't let my daughter, my son, to live in Canada, in a country when the government supports those type of criminals. I won't let them raise there. There's not gonna be never an opportunity for them, because they don't have respect of human beings. And if you don't claim, you raise your voice to respect yourself, your integrity, your self-esteem, to make sure your rights as a resident, because you pay taxes for that. You contribute with the economy, studying, intuition, paying your bills, paying your mortgage, paying your transportation, your food. You pay taxes. And they don't have no rights to intimidate you, to choose you as a target of torturing, to change you. For this reason, I want to prevent and share this information to all of you. Please spread this video to all of your friends, to all your acquaintances, to all your families. Spread this video and help me to stop mind control and SRA, satanic ritual abuse. And spread the rumor. Spread with all of them that this exists and is happening in Toronto. Put me as an example. My name is Ana Mejia, and this is my channel. Share my testimony, and we can save more people and prevent more youth, more independent women and men, more independent professional people who live by themselves, and they have the right to live their lives the way they want it, the way we want it. Have a good life. Have a good one.